Hey, what's up guys? It's Wero with WellTech Works, and in today's video I am going to be showing you guys how to change the oil and fuel filter on a 2006 Chevy Duramax, so stay tuned. So here's a rundown of the tools and items necessary in order to complete this job. So you will need a oil drain pan, a fuel filter, an oil filter, a 13mm socket, a 16mm socket, a 3/8 ratchet along with a 3/8 extension, some vice grips, and oil filter wrench pliers. So we're going to be starting off with the oil, and the first step that you will need to do is set the oil drain pan under the oil drain bolt. So once you have that done, the next step is to remove this oil drain plug, which is a 16mm bolt. So once it's done draining, you want to grab that bolt and put it back in there. Another tip I can give you guys is just to hand tighten it. Don't over tighten it, but just give it a nice snug like this, and you should be good to go. Okay, so next is to remove the oil filter, which is right here. The oil filter on these trucks are much bigger, so don't get it confused with this smaller one next to the transmission oil pan. It's this bigger one right here. Make sure you got your oil drain pan aligned with the oil filter. And let's get to removing it. So the next step now is to grab your brand new oil filter, get some oil in a cap, and then spread it all along the thread and the rubber sealant. Just like that. And now we're going to reinstall it back in the truck. So the next step now is to remove the engine oil cap. Get yourself a funnel, then get your guys' diesel oil and add accordingly. Now this truck only takes 10 quarts, which 2.5 gallons of diesel oil is pretty equivalent to 10 quarts. So just make sure you guys are checking your engine oil dipstick to ensure you guys have enough diesel oil, and like I said, add accordingly. And that is it right there, guys. She is full now. And that is how you successfully do an oil change on a 2006 Chevy Duramax. Okay, so now that we have the oil changed on the Duramax, Now we're going to be replacing the fuel filter right there. And the tools you will be needing in order to do that, guys, is you're going to need a 3/8 ratchet with an extension and a 13mm socket, along with some vice grips, and then the oil filter wrench pliers. So let's get to removing it. So once you have this fuel filter removed, the old one, you want to grab that pair of vice grips and remove this plastic screw that's on the old one and put it on the new one. Now another tip I can give you guys is, before you guys install that new gasket on that bottom piece, I would drench it in some motor oil like I did right here, just to ensure a proper seal. So once you guys have that popped in onto this bottom piece, now the next step would be to install it into the new fuel filter. Now that we have that bottom piece installed and tightened up, you guys will want to grab the second gasket and do the same thing like we did to the first one. Put a little bit of oil on it and then install it on here. And just like that, guys. Next step now, guys, would be to reinstall the fuel filter. Now that that is installed, the next step would be to start bleeding it, and I will show you guys how to do that. So now we're going to bleed this, and this is the screw. This is the bleeder screw right here, and that is a 13mm. What you'll want to do is loosen it a little bit, and once you loosen it a little bit, you'll want to push down on this and release all the air until diesel starts coming out. And once diesel starts coming out, you'll tighten it and it'll be good to go. So now that we have this bleeder screw a little loose, you want to start pumping it. And you guys want to keep doing this until diesel starts coming out, and then this will become harder to push. So once you guys are done bleeding this, and you'll be good to go when you tighten down that bolt and you can't push down on this anymore, start up your truck to make sure everything's okay. So that's it for today's video, guys. That's how you successfully change the oil and fuel filter on a 2006 Chevy Duramax. Now, if you're new to this channel is called WeldTech Works, where I do a lot of how-tos and DIYs. So hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.